In this problem, we're given the graph of a function f, and we are to plot the inverse of this function. And one way to plot the inverse of a function is to simply identify a point on f. For example, this one I'm coloring in red. Looks like it has the coordinates -3, -5. What I can do to get from a point on f to a point on f inverse is to simply interchange the coordinates. So make the point -3, -5, -5, -3 instead. So plotting the point -5, -3, that would be right here. Even though this function has infinitely many points, it'll be sufficient for me to repeat this process for just a few more points. So I'm going to look at this point here on f, whose coordinates appear to be -2, -4. And I'll interchange the coordinates again, so that would be -4, -2, and I'll plot -4, -2, and I'll just continue on in this fashion, taking points on f, say x, y, and interchanging them to y, x. So now let me look at this point here, whose coordinates appear to be 0, 3. I'll interchange the coordinates, and that would give me 3, 0, and I'll plot that point right here. And then finally we have this point here at 2, 4. Interchanging the coordinates give us 4, 2. Plotting 4, 2, that would be right here. Now all I have to do is connect with a line segment the red point to the green to the purple, and the purple to the cyan, and that is a decent plot of what f inverse would look like. Now you may have noticed this dashed line in the graph and wonder what that was. So you may notice that the two graphs that I have, f and f inverse, are symmetrical about this dotted line. This dotted line that I'm attempting to shade in red is the line y = x. So you can think of it this way. If you had a piece of paper and finger paint and you smudged the paint, I guess my paint's yellow, and you smudged the paint along the plot of f on the paper, and then after you did that, you folded the piece of paper about the line y = x, where would the paint go? So hopefully you can visualize that this initial point right here on f, that's on my paint, would get smudged across the folded part of the paper right here and become this point. Same thing with the green point. That point, if you put ink on the paper and fold about the red dotted line y = x, that point would go to this point. And hopefully you can see that an alternative way to plot f inverse is to simply pick a point and draw a line perpendicular to the line y = x and go equidistant. So if you were to compare the distance from here to there, you'll see that it is the same as the distance from here to there. Now let's look at how this would play out if you were doing this problem in more. Here is the same exact problem, and I would identify the point -3, -5, that's this one. Interchanging the coordinates, we got that would give us the point -5, -3. So since I clicked the dot choice here, I can simply put a dot at -5, -3. I will put another dot at -4, -2, another one at 3, 0, and finally we put a dot at 4, 2. The directions are that we must plot not only the points but also the line segments. So I'm going to draw a line segment between each of those points, and when I try to go to plot the next line segment, it's not letting me click here, so I'm just going to start here and go backwards. Not sure why it's doing that. So there I've plotted a decent plot of f inverse, plotting both the points and the segments. So if I was to submit my answer, notice that I get the green check mark and my score is 1 out of 1. Because this is a short video, let me show you how I could have gotten a decent plot without interchanging the coordinates of the points. As I said before, if you just look at a point and see how far away it is from the line y = x, drawing that line perpendicular to the line y = x, and then just go that distance again, so that would be right here. And then just repeat that process. Drawing a line for this dot to the line y = x, I get this distance in here. So if I was to continue on in that direction, that would give me this point. 0, 3, if I drew a line perpendicular, I would have to go this far to get to the line y = x. So if I was to go that far further, that's where we get the point 3, 0. And then finally this point, drawing a line perpendicular to the line y = x, you would see that we end up here. And by doing that, that's just a graphical way to get a sketch of f inverse, given the plot of f, without actually taking each individual point x, y, and literally interchanging the coordinates and plotting that way. Both work, and I hope that helped.